Have you seen this amazing romantic/drama movie where in the 80s the notorious Pablo Escobar
You have money, Pablo. What more do you want?
Respect.
seduces Virginia Vallejo, a famous Colombian journalist and TV news anchor? The two starts a passionate love affair, with Escobar despite him being a family man. Amidst their affair, Virginia realizes her career and reputation are destroyed by being connected with Escobar.
I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Nobody will get near you. They will be afraid that I will kill them.
She finds herself in an extreme situation, to die at the hands of Escobar or by his enemies as an act of reprisal, or save herself by helping a DEA agent to stop Escobar before he kills her.
I saw your interview with Mr. Escobar. What can you tell me about it?
If you're enjoying the story so far, show some love with a like and make sure to subscribe. The movie begins with a disclaimer that the story is based on real, albeit possibly exaggerated, events. Our narrator, the renowned journalist Virginia Vallejo, is on a plane in 1993, leaving her country for a man. A DEA agent named Shepard is also on the plane. Upon arrival in the USA, Virginia is taken to a hotel room where she's told she'll meet with Justice Department officials and is instructed not to leave the room or communicate with anyone for her own safety. Virginia asks for an aspirin for her headache, but Shepard informs her that hotels cannot provide it because it's a drug. This amuses her, and she reflects that Pablo would have laughed at this too before having them all killed. The story then flashes back to 1981 in Colombia, revealing how it all began. We meet Pablo Escobar, who is a man of contradictions. We see him first as a seemingly normal man, riding his bike with friends, but when a man crashes into a horse, they all draw their guns to put the animal out of its misery. He then returns to his mansion to prepare for a party with important guests. His wife, Victoria, is concerned about the mix of business and family, especially when she sees a man talking business near their son's pool. Pablo agrees to handle it, distracts his son with a coin, and then instructs the man to destroy files linking him to the murder of 24 agents, granting him permission to kill anyone necessary to complete the task. Later, a young Virginia arrives at Pablo's ranch, initially terrified by the sight of armed men. Pablo assures her they are for protecting the animals in his zoo. She mistakes him for a servant, but is later surprised at the party to learn he is the real Pablo. He tells her the party is to celebrate the founding of his society for building houses for the poor. But the movie reveals it is truly the founding of the Medellin cartel. A few days later, Pablo takes Virginia to the slums to show her the houses he is building, where many children are named after him. He gives a heartfelt speech during an interview with her, and she decides she doesn't care how he makes his money, only how he uses it. They have dinner, and when she mentions her husband won't sign the divorce papers, Pablo promises to fix it. We see his men threaten her husband, who then signs the papers. Pablo takes Virginia to a private island to celebrate, where they become intimate before attending a congress of drug traffickers. The men divide the USA among themselves for their business. A year later, a plane lands on a highway to unload drugs, which are picked up by a group of men. Virginia narrates how a kilo of drugs would be cut to double the profit. In the White House, President Donald Reagan speaks to the nation about the drug problem. Shepard is approached by American and Colombian representatives who inform him of their plan to reactivate the extradition treaty, which would allow the U.S. to try Colombian narcos. Shepard agrees to monitor the process. Pablo and his associates learn of the treaty and discuss how it will affect them. While others suggest hiring lawyers, Pablo believes they must fight from the inside by entering politics, arguing that a congressman is respected. They begin to pay off politicians on both sides, and their planes carry candidates by day and drugs by night. Victoria is worried about his political ambitions, telling him he's taking things too far. He replies that he wants respect and for his son to be proud of him. Victoria demands he end his relationship with Virginia, and while he promises to, he is soon sleeping with Virginia again. With Virginia's help, Pablo's political campaign is a success, and he wins as a representative of Medellin. He goes to the House of Representatives for the first time in July 1982. He is stopped for not wearing a tie and borrows one from a journalist. He then gives Virginia a bag of money as a gift. It is now 1983, and Virginia is living extravagantly. Meanwhile, Pablo teaches his son about the drug business, but warns him not to use drugs himself. Shepard approaches Virginia at her hotel and questions her about Pablo's money, but she points out the DEA has no authority in Colombian politics. She also flirts with him. Virginia returns to Medellin to find Pablo has gone to a special Congress session to face the threat of his appointment being revoked. A minister publicly accuses Pablo, who then counters by questioning the minister's own campaign funding. Victoria begs Pablo to resign, revealing she is pregnant, but their conversation is interrupted by a news story about Pablo's past. He pays people to remove all the newspapers from the streets. The man who failed to erase the evidence is tortured and killed. The cartel meets to discuss what to do with the minister. Pablo wants to assassinate him, and he convinces the others to contribute money to the murder to ensure they are all guilty. That night, Pablo gives Virginia a box containing a gun, explaining that she may need it to protect herself or take her own life if she is captured. Upset, she leaves. Pablo then hires two young sicarios to assassinate the minister on a motorcycle. Virginia reports the minister's death on her show, and the president activates the extradition agreement. Pablo and his associates go to Panama to negotiate with an ex-president sent by the government. Pablo agrees to pay taxes in exchange for the treaty being removed, threatening war if it isn't. Things worsen. His family is forced to leave the country. The editor who published the story on his past is killed, and Virginia receives threats. She finds Pablo at her apartment, and he tells her it isn't his fault and tries to kiss her, but she leaves the room. Pablo's killing spree escalates. He kills a judge by sending him a coffin and starts paying people to kill police officers. The police retaliate by killing 10 teenagers for every cop killed. The Colombian government creates a special unit to deal with Pablo, and the DEA sends Shepard to help them. They install a system to track Pablo's calls, but people in the slums call all at once from different locations to trick them. Virginia is fired from her job. When she leaves the building, she finds Shepard waiting for her. He offers her protection in exchange for her help in finding Pablo, but she remains loyal. They notice a car spying on them, and Shepard chases it away. Virginia calls Pablo, but he hangs up on her when she tries to break up with him. Pablo, who has many teenage girlfriends, is eventually found after one of them talks. Helicopters arrive at his ranch, but he escapes and becomes unreachable. His associates begin to get killed. In 1989, Pablo declares war on the government on a radio station. Virginia is in Miami when the FBI approaches her and informs her that a plane has exploded in Bogota. The people demand the government deal with Pablo, but after more bombings, they demand the government give him what he wants. Shepard learns of a clue from the names of the plane crash survivors. He goes to the U.S. ambassador to ask for permission to go after Pablo, but Pablo's lawyer is already there, arranging his surrender. In 1991, the extradition treaty is revoked, and Pablo surrenders on the condition that he chooses his own jail. They build a luxurious prison for him on his land, where he continues to work his business and has parties. During a family lunch, his daughter tells him that Victoria cries all the time because he is never home. Pablo tries to take his daughter out for ice cream, but the guards turn their weapons on him. Victoria begs him to come back inside, crying. Meanwhile, Virginia's career has been ruined, and she has to sell her home to pay debts. She moves into an apartment building where the First Lady lives, hoping to be safe. She eventually visits Pablo at his jail to ask for money to move to Europe, but he refuses. When she threatens to go to the police, he scares her into taking back her words. In 1992, Pablo kills two of his associates for not paying him, making the government an accomplice. It is decided to transfer him to a military prison, but he escapes. His men tell him that people are turning on him. His associates cooperate with the government in exchange for clean records and join a hunting party to kill everyone associated with Pablo. Virginia is almost killed in a pawn shop. Pablo hides in a small apartment with his family. His daughter reveals that other parents don't want her at the school show. Realizing his family is in danger, he tells Victoria to take the kids out of the country. Virginia goes to Shepard at the embassy and agrees to cooperate. She tells him that Pablo's weakness is his family, and they should not be allowed to leave. Shepard's boss initially refuses, but Shepard convinces him to use the family as bait to capture Pablo. It is now 1993. Pablo's family is denied entrance to Germany and sent back to Colombia. The DEA takes them to an apartment building and sets up a system to track calls. Pablo learns about this and calls his family. He realizes they are being listened to and starts insulting the officers. He hangs up, but then calls again. The officers pinpoint his location while he's on the phone with his kids. He leans out the window, giving the cops a clear shot. As the cops break in, he and his partner jump out the window but are shot and killed on the roof. His son hears it all on the phone. The DEA agents celebrate, but Virginia looks sad. Shepard comes to take her to a safe place. The movie ends with a flashback to Virginia's conversation with Shepard about her cooperation. She says she loved Pablo but hated Escobar, so she agrees to talk to a federal judge. Pablo always wanted her to tell his story. He just never specified to whom. We hope you enjoyed this recap. If you're new here, we'd love for you to join our community. Why not hit that subscribe button and let us know in the comments below what movie recap you'd like to see next.